Yeah, we figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here with another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Today is the 10th day of June 2013, the 10th day of June 2013. Thanks so much for finding us. Did you know that we're on Twitter? Follow me at Dr. Glidden. That's follow me at DrGlidden. Now, you know, you've been listening to me for a while now. Thank you very much. Going on a year and a half, I think, something like that. How time flies. And it's always good to have a second witness. I have become the second witness to Dr. Wallach, and that's a good thing. And now I have a second witness. How about that? I am very pleased to welcome into the longevity fold another licensed physician who has gotten a clue, Dr. Heather Rooks. She's with us now. Dr. Heather Rooks, thanks so much for being a longevity member. Thanks so much for showing up today. How's it going?
Hey, Dr. G, it's good. Going great.
Yeah. So tell the listening audience who you are and what you do, and give us the brief rundown.
The brief rundown. My name is Dr. Heather Rooks. I'm a licensed chiropractor. I practice, the first practice was in the state of Delaware. And after practicing traditional chiropractic care with clients for about 7 years, I decided to incorporate clinical nutrition and found the longevity products. And now I have a practice model in which I empower my patients with nutrition information, the best products on the planet, Dr. Wallach's message, along with vitalistic chiropractic care, and have been helping people in my community in the last 3 years reverse chronic illnesses that they were told weren't fixable or helpable. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's remarkable, isn't it? And, you know, inside of a private practice, how big is the town that you live and work in?
Well, we live in Wilmington, Delaware. We're Delaware people, but I practice in Chadds, Pennsylvania. So the town, you know, the city of Wilmington has probably, I think it's like 350,000. I mean, we're a decent-sized town. I mean, everybody who writes a check to a credit card company sends their money here. The big corporate banking, right? Big corporate banking town, lots of legal. Most credit card companies are established here. So we also have big pharma in our backyard here. So it's an interesting, you know, the DuPont company is right down the street from us. So we're in a good-sized town. We're about 25 minutes outside of the town of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania.
Now, how long have you been involved with longevity? How long have you been involved with longevity and incorporating it into your private practice?
I started with the longevity products very shortly after learning that I was pregnant, and my son's now 9 months old. So I've been on the products for, I'd say, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And incorporated them after using them for about 4 to 5 months myself and seeing phenomenal results with using them.
Yeah.
So then I started incorporating it with the people that I work with and work for, and have seen some just amazing things. You know, reversing type 2 diabetes pretty easily. You know, people recovering from chronic arthritis, pain syndromes, unexplained illnesses. People have been told that, you know, there's nothing that can be done to help them. You know, a lot of autoimmunity, people walking in with chronic illness, you know, 8, 9, 10 doctors can't help you. You know,
but then the chiropractor does. Well, I've got news for you, Dr. Rooks. You're going to have to hire a couple of colleagues as associates, because pretty soon, if it already hasn't happened, it's only a matter of time, word is going to spread. Because you're going to become the go-to doctor in the entire county within 2-3 years, because everybody's going to tell everybody in their life, oh, you know, I had this condition, and, you know, this is why the pharmaceutical industry, the American Medical Association, and the MDs do not want there to be a free medical market in the world, because they knew that if there was a free medical market in the world, they'd lose all the business.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I see that in my area. I can't name names clearly because of HIPAA laws, but I take care of high ups in the state, corporate people in the area, medical doctors, families, nurse practitioners who are primary care, healthcare providers that people go to. They can write prescriptions and do all that, and they're coming to me with problem, sick. I don't know what to do. I can't get better. And, we're turning them around personally with their health, and so I'm trying to help shift their paradigm, and then now they're taking the message to the people they're working on. So
well,
it's pretty cool.
Nothing shifts somebody's paradigms better than results, and usually that's the best way to do it, right? That's usually how people's paradigms shift, is they'll have some type of a real-world experience with the truth, hits them over the head like a jackhammer, and then all of a sudden they snap out of it and they can't believe that they were that stupid for that long, or that they were just, that misinformed for that amount of time. I've got to tell you something, Dr. Rooks. It's only a matter of time until your reputation soars. And you're going to have people coming to you from all over the United States, man. It is only a matter of time. Now, tell me one thing. Youngevity's interesting, right? Because Youngevity wasn't set up as a direct-to-physician only company. There's a lot of nutraceutical companies that do that. I used to work for one of them. There's a lot of vitamin companies that only sell to doctors. That's their business model, right? Their whole intention is to support the chiropractors, support the naturopaths, whatever. But Youngevity was not set up like that. Youngevity, of course, being set up as a network marketing business, is meant to bring our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition to the masses. So how are you walking that tightrope between delivering Youngevity products and Wallach's knowledge to your patients, in addition to the chiropractic stuff, and then doing a network marketing business? How are you managing those two lifestyles?
Well, I have been in the supplement game, let's just say that, for 13 years, personally and professionally, and I've worked with several companies who would only sell to the doctor, and then they tell you what you've got to then charge people, and then you become this middleman where you end up being like a retail store for vitamins and supplements. And the point of the matter is that the reason I have Youngevity in my office is because of the supplements. I didn't bring Youngevity in as a business opportunity, even though it is that. I brought it in because of the results.
Right.
And the way that I'm marrying it is that when people come to visit with me or see me at my practice, where they referred to me for chiropractic care and the traditional, low back, neck stuff, they get the education as to how their brain's running their body and the central nervous system's in charge. And then they have to understand that biochemically, if they don't have proper nutrition, their body's not going to be able to heal. So, I work with them in a way that I'm like, look, I'm not the chiropractor who's going to keep you coming back every 2 days, for an adjustment. I just don't work that way. So I introduce them to the products, and I allow them to actually purchase the products through me at my office upon my recommendation as to what they may need for the first month or two. After the second purchase, I basically have my office manager informing them, look, this is how Dr. Rooks wants you to do it. These products are things you should be taking for life. Her job is to educate you to what you need, and then allow it to be available to you, and then we actually show them the opportunity to become, get on the auto ship order. And then once people do that, we also let them know that there's an opportunity if they're looking to get their products paid for, or they're looking for a part-time job, or they want to actually tell others and spread the message. So I feel as though I'm almost creating a mini army of people that help me with the message, which is pretty rewarding when you watch it unfold.
Well, the best is yet to come. You're not going to recognize it in 5 years from now. You're growing a monster, and you're a giant. You're growing a giant and feeding a giant, and this is the way. You may have just stumbled inadvertently upon an entire new medical model for medical professionals, right? Because I don't know if you've looked around, but I know a lot of naturopathic physicians and a lot of chiropractors, and quite frankly, lots and lots of emergency medical techs, nurses, and straight-up MDs who are hurting for money. They're being screwed by the insurance companies. They're being screwed by the hospitals. It's a big money mess. And that's because it's a for-profit medical machine. And everybody is looking for a way to augment their income, and this is why Youngevity is going to save the world, because Youngevity augments people's incomes by helping them help people. I mean, and that's a beautiful thing.
However,
so really,
you have to shift the paradigm in people, which is why what you're doing is so amazing, because I also use your resources to help educate my clients as to what they need, which is amazing.
Well,
makes my job very easy, so I thank you for that.
Yeah, well, hey, you're welcome, and you're right back at you. Well, it's this is teamwork, right? And this is, again, I think one of the unspoken advantages, and this, again, is a testament to Dr. Wallach's wisdom, because when he set Youngevity up as a network business 17-plus years ago, he got a lot of crap from it. And it may interest the listening audience to understand that in the wonderful world of holistic medicine, Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden are not liked. I mean, our colleagues don't like us. They look down their noses at us because they've got this thing against network marketing. Oh, we're doctors and we can't do that. Well, guess what? You're wrong. We're right. We're helping thousands of people. Then it's going to be tens of thousands of people. Then we're going to grow an army just like Dr. Rooks is talking about. Stick with us, folks. More to come with Dr. Heather Rooks. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. We are live on Monday, May 10th. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, talking to a recent Youngevity convert, Dr. Heather Rooks. Always good to have another healthcare professional in our midst. And really, Dr. Rooks, before I started doing Youngevity and being schooled and educated and mentored, there's the word I'm looking for, mentored by Dr. Wallach, I was a dyed-in-the-wool classical homeopath, and I did a little bit of vitamin stuff, a little bit of herbal stuff. Every naturopathic doctor does. But I was a dyed-in-the-wool homeopath, and when I started using the medical nutrition as delivered by Wallach and Youngevity, the results that I started to see in myself and in my patients when I delivered homeopathy was night and day, and I'm assuming that you're seeing similar things in the application of chiropractic to bodies that are nutrified versus bodies that are not nutrified. What's that been like?
That has been like watching flowers bloom. That's what that's been like. It's taken so many of the questions and obstacles that I've had in the past about why people weren't getting well out of the equation. The founding fathers of chiropractic, have a philosophy that I was taught in my school. I went to a great school in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Life University, and I was taught that the body, in order for it to heal, needs to have brain-body connection, clearly. Most people don't think about that. If your brain can't tell your body what to do to heal, you're going to have limitations. But then if you don't have the raw materials that the nerve system needs to conduct electricity to the body, you then also won't get good signaling. And then if you don't have the essential building blocks that your body needs, when those signals do hit the tissue, you're not going to have change. So incorporating the medical nutrition and the Youngevity supplements has allowed me to actually address more than one of the causes of stress in life. When you're a chiropractor, it's very easy to address the physical stress, which is, postural or accidents, trauma. I can now address the biochemical issues that people have going on. And one of the biggest obstacles that I had in practice prior to incorporating the system I'm using now is the toxic lifestyle that people are living, the fact that they're not getting the raw materials, the 90 essential in their body. So when you're trying to help someone heal, but they don't have the raw materials to do so, it's almost like kind of fighting yourself. You're like going up against a brick wall.
Yeah, it's 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. And, I'll tell you an interesting story. I've been a big fan of holistic medicine my entire life, and I've read more than is probably admittable in public about the evolution and different philosophical schools of thought concerning holistic medicine, right? And one of the things that always struck me was that in the homeopathic texts from the 1800s and in all the chiropractic testimonials and the chiropractic textbooks and the proceedings from the chiropractic congresses and the homeopathic congresses, these people, the chiropractors and the naturopaths and the homeopaths in the 1800s were getting unbelievable clinical results. I mean, tuberculosis, diphtheria, breast cancer, open wounds, right? And gone. A couple weeks, gone. It's just gone. And modern-day chiropractors, modern-day homeopaths don't get the same caliber of results. We get results, but not the same caliber. And I had a conversation with Dr. Wallach about this a number of months ago, and he gave me the missing piece. And I don't know if I've spoken to you about this, but I'm going to give it to you now and the listening audience. In the 1800s, they didn't have electricity. What they had was wood. They burned wood for fuel. They burned wood for heat. And so everybody in the world was burning wood all of the time, and guess what? There was a superabundance of wood ash. And there were two categories of wood ash. There was the gray ash around the periphery of the fire, and that ash people put in their gardens. And then there was the white ash in the middle of the fire, directly underneath the pot. It was called potash, because it was white as a bone. They'd put the potash in their breads, in their soups, in their stews, and they'd put the gray ash in their gardens. And guess what wood ash is? It's over 99% minerals. So back in the day, before electricity, everybody was way more mineralized than they are now. And when you deliver chiropractic or homeopathic or herbal medicine to a mineralized body, you are going to get remarkable results. And this is why we get remarkable results, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming up against another hard break, Dr. Birx. Can you stick with me through the next segment? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Heather Rooks is with us, and this is Fire Your MD Now, a live presentation Monday, June 10th. Stick around. Hey, everybody. Thanks for logging in. Thanks for turning on. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden here, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, with a June 10th live edition of Fire Your MD Now, talking to a recent longevity convert, fellow medical professional, Dr. Heather Rooks, a licensed chiropractic physician with over a decade of clinical experience. So, Dr. Rooks, let's talk about this. I tell people frequently to use chiropractic medicine, to use homeopathic medicine, to use herbal medicine as an adjunct to the basic boilerplate foundation medical nutrition stuff that we talk about in longevity. And one of the things that I'm seeing a superabundance of, not just lately, it's kind of endemic in the culture, is underactive thyroids. And I advise 100% of the people with an underactive thyroid to go to a chiropractor to have their neck checked to see if the cervical curve is correct. Am I hitting the mark there, or am I off? What's your experience with that?
Well, neurologically, thyroid is innervated from the lower neck, T6, 7, and some people T1. So if you have if your curvature in your neck is not going in the right direction, or it's stressed, or if your neck in general is out of alignment, it can affect everything in your body. If you're looking at it segmentally from the fact that the nerves from the lower neck feed into the thyroid, that's one aspect. The other aspect is that if you have a spinal misalignment in your neck, you're also impinging the spinal cord, which is running through the center of the neck. And just as the messages from the brain have to get down through the cord to get out to all the nerves, if you have cervical or neck issues, it's going to affect everything in your life. Yes, thyroid particularly. However, there are other environmental factors going on right now that also just zap the thyroid, and I'll mention a few of those that I know, because a lot of the clients that I see have low thyroid issues, have their thyroid being attacked by their immune system issues, and also diabetes. So environmentally, we see fluoride in the water. Fluoride in the water is not good for our brain, it's not good for our endocrine system, and it destroys the thyroid gland. That's a big thing. The other thing that people use a lot of are plastics. So if you're microwaving your food in plastics and it's leaching into the food, those exogenous estrogens from the plastics can also affect your endocrine system, your hormonal system. A lot of the additives in foods are endocrine and metabolism mimickers. They will actually go in and affect the thyroid. And the biggest one, which I yell and scream about like you do, is gluten. Gluten molecule is a thyroid mimicker. There's biological mimicry going on. So if someone's intolerant to gluten and they're eating it and they're inflaming their gut and they produce antibodies in their body, that can attack their thyroid.
Well,
those are the big things that I see, as well as cervical misalignment and nerve impingement.
Well, now you see why we love Dr. Heather Rooks, right? I mean, this is great stuff. Isn't this great stuff? And I also love it when I'm right. Yeah, everything's connected in the human body, and this is the one fundamental concept that we're missing in the education of, kids, school kids. And nobody's taught this. Nobody's taught the basic fundamental way that the human body is knit together. Everybody just leans academically on the MD vantage point, the MD vantage point, the MD vantage point. It's over and over and over. We have beaten that horse. We have ridden that horse into the ground. We've gotten piss-poor results from riding that horse into the ground. Leading cause of death in the United States, leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. For goodness sake, pain and suffering piling up in legendary biblical proportions, all because we've let the MDs drive the bus of medicine, and we have believed in their methodology. And their methodology is a flawed methodology. It's an outdated methodology. It's an incorrect methodology, and it's only suited for trauma, emergency medicine, and surgery when it's absolutely necessary. And, however, in cases of trauma, you can use chiropractic. You can use homeopathic to your advantage, but nobody ever thinks about that. Nobody ever thinks about, I got to go see my chiropractor. Because I just broke my leg. Well, guess what? If you just broke your leg, because everything's connected, there are going to be systemic things that are happening that good old-fashioned chiropractic can knit back together. Man, I tell you what, folks, finding a good chiropractor is worth their weight in gold, and it is an excellent adjunctive therapeutic to put on top of good, new-fashioned medical nutrition delivered through longevity. So this begs the question, Dr. Rooks, because we have a worldwide, listenership route. How does one tell the difference between a good chiropractor and a bad chiropractor?
Great question. Everything in life is experiential, unfortunately, for us. So people have tried the medical system, doesn't work for them, right? So they look somewhere else. You can ask friends. You can ask people in your community. You can go and interview the chiropractor. When you go in for a consultation to a doctor, you're going in to see if you want to hire that person to help you. If you walk into a chiropractor's office and it's full, they're probably pretty good. If you walk into a chiropractor's office and they educate you, right, they probably are pretty good. If you talk to people at work, in your community, PTA, whatever it is, and you keep hearing someone's name repeatedly, then they probably have a very good reputation and good skills. My advice to people looking for good chiropractors is ask your community, right? That's one thing. And the other thing is interview the doctor. Go in, talk to the doctor, see if what they say resonates with you. If the office looks like it might be just, I don't know, I don't want to say this and offend people, but if it seems like people are just rolling in and out, in and out, in and out, and they're not getting, direct attention, that would be a bit of a red flag for me personally. I personally don't like the 1-minute adjustment, doing the same thing on everybody. So there's a lot of factors involved in that, but I think if you can ask your community and you can interview the doctor, if you're not sure, then you're going to have to try. You're going to have to let the doctor work on you, and like everything in life, results. If you're going in and you get good results, then the chiropractor knows what they're doing. If within 4 to 5 visits, honestly, if you have a chronic problem, you're not seeing much change, it's not chiropractic. It's the application of the art of chiropractic if you're not getting good results. Because chiropractic works every time, because it works on the universal law of the fact that the energy in your body, which is emanating from your brain to your body parts, is flowing. And if it's not flowing, we need to reconnect it. So if you're seeing someone after 4 or 5 visits and you're not seeing any change, then they're not applying the art of chiropractic appropriately. So,
ladies and gentlemen, I have cloned myself into a female chiropractor. I have reproduced myself into Dr. Heather Rooks, and that was not an easy thing to do. God, I love how this all comes together. I got to tell you the truth, Dr. Rooks. I mean, it's very refreshing to hear the same thought process filtered through a different central nervous system and then come out of somebody else's mouth. It's a very, very refreshing thing here. And this is one of the benefits of the longevity method that we were alluding to in the first segment. Because one of the benefits of being involved with longevity is you get to hang out with people of like minds. You get
Absolutely.
to find your own family. You get to hang out with people who think the same way that you do, who have tasted the same piece of reality pie as you have, people who are awake and people who are ready and people who are moving forward in their lives, whether it's financially or health-wise, progressive thinkers. And this is it's a fantastic and it's a refreshing thing. And, you know, it's like they say, it's rare that you are born into your true family. You have to go out into the world and find it. And, folks, longevity is a fantastic family to be a member of. Give it a try. Why don't you give it a try? Go right now to fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the longevity button and join us. Join Team Glidden. You'll be with Dr. Heather Rooks. You'll be with Dr. Glidden. You'll be with Ashley and Duffy. You'll be with all the folks up in Canada. Join our coalition of the informed. Join our merry band of men, women, and yes, even children, promoting our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Now, here's something I'd like to talk about because I don't think that very many people in the listening audience understand this, and you may have may have become aware through kind of the tone of my voice that, you know, I love chiropractic. I'm really into chiropractic. I love everything about it. But there are many different schools of manipulation techniques, right? They teach many different schools of adjustment inside of the chiropractic education. Educate the listening audience, if you could, about kind of the ins and outs of that.
I will. I appreciate you asking that question because it's very important to my soul. First and foremost, chiropractic, the philosophy behind what it is that we do is the why. There is a philosophy, all right, and which is amazing. Then there's the art, which is the actual application of the technique, and there's the science. The science is what it is. Pick up Grey's Anatomy, pick up our biology books. Science is science. We know how the systems work together. We know the central nervous system's running everything. We know that we have this innate intelligence or life force within our body that flows through our central nervous system. However, how someone approaches the art form is called chiropractic technique. And there are several schools of thought. There are over 225 techniques in chiropractic, so it can be very overwhelming for people. Most of the traditional schools in the country, there actually are two schools of thought, which is another dichotomy, but we can talk about that more. There's the mechanistic adjusters who adjust based just on movement, and then there's the vitalistic practitioners. The vitalistic practitioners tend to be more nervous system focused. They tend to have an ability to integrate information to actually treat the body in a dynamic way. So there are schools of thought that in chiropractic for technique that use just x-rays as a diagnostic tool. However, I will tell you, x-rays are very important to look at alignment and spacing and where things are, but it's a static picture. It means shot in time. It's not what your body looks like every time you walk into the doctor's office. So I tend to direct people to go to vitalistic-based practitioners that have a system of analysis, and I also tend to have people go to see chiropractors that have several techniques under their belt, because you would not adjust a 90-year-old woman the same way you would adjust a 19-year-old football player. You would not adjust a newborn the same way that you would adjust, a pregnant lady. It's just there are a lot of different techniques that you can learn in this profession, and I like to have more of the low-force techniques under my belt. I don't like to use a lot of force with people. I can, but I don't like that. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it myself. And so that question I could probably talk about that for a couple hours,
yeah,
to be honest. But to be honest.
Well, it's an interesting. You did a good job. You know, I wasn't aware that there were over 200 and different adjusting techniques, right? But the difference between the vitalistic and the mechanistic school of thought, that's a very interesting one. And of course, the naturopaths and the homeopaths and the chiropractic vitalists were all in the same holistic boat. And this is the correct boat to be in, because the human body, like it or not, it's an academic fact, ladies and gentlemen, the human body is a complex system of interrelated parts. The human body is endowed with a God-given ability to fix itself. The human body has a vital force which informs everything, and that's our job, to support and promote the structure and function of the human body to, guess what, get her done. So we're up against the hard break again. Stick around, Dr. Rooks. We've got 5 minutes in our last segment. I hope you can join me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Stick around. Hey, everybody, you want to get away? Well, guess what? You better run away. You better run away as fast as you can from anyone who has an MD after their name. Is God is my witness. It's just the way that it is. Talking to Dr. Heather Rooks here, chiropractor from the East Coast, who's using longevity with remarkable success. Dr. Rooks, tell the listening audience how to get in touch with you. What's your web address, for instance, or how does someone get in touch with you if they want to?
Yeah, my web address is www.pathhealthcenter.com. And, I mean, I have phone numbers, and, you know, you can call me anytime.
Is that PATH like a garden path?
PATH, People Achieving Total Health. It's an acronym.
Okay, so give the web address once again. It's PATH?
Healthcenter.com.
All right, that's PATHHEALTHCENTER.com. PATH, like a garden path, healthcenter.com. And what city are you located in?
We are in Chadford, Pennsylvania. But most of the clients are coming from all over. Honestly, we service clients in many states and other countries, family and friends of people who have gotten results. So I do a lot of phone calls and things of that nature as well. So obviously I can't do the chiropractic, but I'm doing the functional,
that would be a trick. Boy, if you could figure out how to do chiropractic over the phone, then we'd really be talking.
Yeah, I know. Not there yet, but working on it.
So,
one of the things I wanted to mention to you, Doc, too, is that we're on Facebook, which that page is very active. We're actually revamping the website because we continue to grow and add services and products. So we're revamping the website, but PATH, P-A-T-H, Integrative Health Center. We're on Facebook as well, which is probably an easier way to find us right now because we're in a growth stage.
All right, check them out on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. PATH Integrative Health Center. PATH Integrative Health Center. Man, it's all good and it's all coming together, Dr. Rooks. So looking forward into the future, I mean, what do you see? What are you thinking is going to happen here?
What I think for me personally, my goal for what I want to see happen is I want to obviously continue to service my clients and have other practitioners working under me here. But I do also want to go on to the speaking circuit, probably going to be working on a book in the next year or so. And what I'd like to do is take some information that I learned from Dr. Wallach upon first meeting him and really grow with it. He said to me, do you understand that your profession as a whole is at center stage to take over healthcare and change the paradigm of medicine as we practice it today? Your profession of chiropractors, they're the ones who have the philosophy. They're the ones that they've got their hands and they've got their head. If you can get a hold of them, you can change the way that medicine is practiced in this country. So that is on my bucket list. That is what I'm planning to do, as I'm planning to start speaking to large groups of people, start speaking to more people that are in my profession and opening their mind to deal with the nutritional deficiencies and the biochemical stresses, as B.J. Palmer, who was one of the philosophers in chiropractic, taught us, and really take longevity along with me because they are the best products. I mean, hands down, they're the best products I've ever used, I've ever seen results, the fastest results. And to be honest with you, you can't suppress the truth. So if I can just talk to more people.
Well, I've got one more thing for your bucket list, Dr. Rooks. I've got one more thing for your bucket list. How would you like to guest host this radio show?
Love it. That'd be amazing.
Sounds good to me. Well, we're going to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, check her out on Facebook. Give it to us once more, Dr. Rooks.
PATH, P-A-T-H, Integrative Health Center. We're in Chadford, Pennsylvania. Dr. G, thank you so much for everything that you do. Your education-based webinars, they really change people's paradigm immediately upon watching them. I can't say enough good things about that because without education, the people will perish. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dr. Rooks. Thank you for everything that you do. There she goes, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Heather Rooks, a recent longevity convert and medical professional with over 10 years, going on 13, 14 years of clinical experience, has embraced longevity and is using it to change the way that medicine is practiced in the United States. I've cloned myself. There is a God. Ladies and gentlemen, taking your phone calls the entire next hour, 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Give me a call. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now.